Good morning, beautiful class. Oh my goodness, look at where we are. Isn't this a beautiful background? I love it so much. And it is perfect for the topics that we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about everything sensuality and seduction. And this class is for women. However, men are more than welcome to attend this class. But really, as a woman, and going through a lot of things myself through my younger years, trying to kind of understand what was all the hubbub about, in regards to sex. Everybody would talk about sex as it was this amazing thing, and I always wondered, what am I missing? I'm not having the same response and feeling about sex. So I had to really dig, and I decided I was going to study sex. I was going to really understand sex and the body and all the erogenous zones and all of that good stuff, because I really wanted to educate myself and find out what all the hubbub was about. Now, in the process of me doing all of that, I found some really amazing women who were really leading the charge at a time where it was not popular to do so, and in fact would even get you arrested at a time when it was not popular to be that way. In fact, you were looked down upon, or you were considered risque, or maybe not a woman of good character, let's say, if you decided that you wanted more for yourself, or that you wanted to understand sex and your sexual prowess. And one of the women that I really, really respect and honor is this lady on my shirt here. Now, her name is Mae West, and Mae West is very interesting because she was born at the very end of the 1800s, and then she lived on into the 1900s. And that's a really unique position to be in, because you're coming from a time, think about it, living in the 1800s, and then you live your life well into the 1900s. My goodness, you are seeing quite a lot. And so what I want to do is I want to show you how progressive Mae West was. And it shocks me today that so many people do not know about her, because Mae West was really one of those people who paved the way for all the women that came after her to be progressive, to want more for themselves, to be able to share their sensuality and their sexuality without shame. And it's taken a really long time for women to get here. And education is really the key. And these women all were kind of just putting it out there. So I want to show you a few clips of Mae West. I'm going to put it in right here. And then I'm going to talk to you on the other end of that.
When I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
I see a man in your life.
What, only one? When I'm caught between two evils, I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Take care of these men.
Yes, give them all my address.
I am delighted. I have heard so much about you.
Yeah, but you can't prove it.
Haven't you ever met a man that can make you happy?
Sure. Lots of times.
What kind of husband does you think I should get?
I should take a single man, leave the husbands alone. Don't forget, come up and see me sometime.
Come up and see me sometime. I just love her. So first of all, she was a fellow Leo because she was born in August 17th, 1893. She was a Leo, my fellow Leo sister. And she passed away in 1980. Oh my gosh, you guys. Can you only imagine the changes that she has seen? Mae West was part of what was called the vaudeville. It's kind of burlesque theater, right? And it was very risque. And she wrote a lot of the plays and the acts that they would do. And she was very racy, even in the 1800s when you weren't allowed to be that way. She was. And in fact, she wrote a play that actually got her put in jail.
A role model and prisoner. After spending 6 years working the vaudeville circuit, West became the muse of Broadway when she created the 1926 play called Sex. She originally wrote the script and accidentally became a writer for Broadway. Because of all the recognition she got from the script, she finally rose to fame. But all that fame would turn into infamy on April 19, 1927, after she was sent to prison. West hadn't committed any crimes. She was just arrested for corrupting the morals of youth and being obscene, according according to authorities. Even though she got sent to jail, West insisted on being given silk undergarments instead of the ones the prison offered. After she got comfortable, she went to the dormitory where all the other women prisoners stayed, only to be greeted with loud claps and shoutings. All the women prisoners told her that she was very inspirational and strong and was making a change for women that had been stuck by social norms. It was at this point where West figured out that she was slowly making an impact on all women across the country.
But the funny thing is that so many people were a fan of Mae West that she actually, when she went to jail, she was so popular that she actually got to have dinner with the warden and his wife. But that made her a star. Why? Because women at that time were starving to have that sensual, sexual freedom to just be who they were. And until Mae West did that and put her foot down and put that play out, knowing that she was going to probably get arrested, she was willing to do that to help women progress to the point where they could express themselves the same way that men were allowed to express themselves. And it didn't happen overnight, but somehow Mae West got away with a whole lot of innuendo and fun, fun movies and a lot of innuendo. And I want to share with you how this progressed, because a lot of you may not know who Mae West is. Some of you may know, but a lot of you may not know who Mae West is. But I want to show you how what she did inspired other people that you may know. So it goes like this. It goes Mae West, and Mae West kind of inspired Jean Harlow, who was another, blonde bombshell. Now, keep in mind, too, that having blonde or white hair back then was associated with being a prostitute. So back then, for an actress to do her hair completely white or blonde had this kind of shadowy effect that you were somehow a harlot. But that tended to work a lot. Why? Because sex sells, right? So they were really appealing to men in movies, right? The men would flock to come see these things. But guess what? The women would too, because the women were inspired by her. And what ended up happening was it inspired people like Jean Harlow, who unfortunately died very young, but she's one of my idols as well. Mae West inspired Jean Harlow, and Jean Harlow inspired Marilyn Monroe, and Marilyn Monroe inspired Madonna, and you get the picture, on and on and on. And so it's important to me to understand and to honor these women that have come before us, that have allowed us the freedoms that we have today to even talk this way. Because again, you could just have blonde hair back in the day or white hair, and that would signify that you were somehow loose or not a woman of good character, let's say. So I wanted to put that out there, and I wanted to share the Mae West story, and you can find out so much more about Mae West. I have so many of her movies, and I grew up in a household, by the way. The way that I found out about Mae West is that in my household with my dad, he was very much into old Hollywood. He grew up during that time, so it wasn't really old Hollywood to him, but it was old Hollywood to me. And he always had Mae West movies on, and Laurel and Hardy and Marilyn Monroe and all these different types of movies, all these old movies that were always playing in our household. So I was exposed and inspired to these types of to these wonderful women throughout history. And I really, the more that I read about her, I realized how smart she was. She single-handedly saved the film industry. She discovered Cary Grant. I mean, there's so much about Mae West, and surprisingly, so many people don't know about her, which is really a shame. So what I wanted to do today was to honor Mae West, and I'm going to be wearing her shirts because I absolutely adore her. And I hope that you go out and maybe buy her biography and read about her. If you need a woman or somebody that you can really look up to who was smart and who paved the way for all of us, I would say go and get the biography of Mae West and read all about her, There's plenty of YouTube documentaries on her that you could look at as well. But I would say definitely do that, because I think the beginning of your journey is understanding what freedoms we didn't have and who paved the way and what they went through in order to get there. And we're not going to spend a lot of time, on the historical stuff. We're really going to get into the soulful stuff that relates to you and giving you knowledge and information. But I do think that it's so important to go back to the original progressive woman who was responsible for all these buxom blondes that came out, and give some homage to what she did for women. And it's really neat to be able to see how what she did continued to inspire women all the way up to today. So with that being said, I will see you in the next lecture.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I got away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has
Then I'm
been
hoping that you drop in.
so very nice.
I'll hold your hands there just like ice.
Luella will be suspicious.
Gosh, your lips look delicious.
Hannah will be there at the door.